we have a hierarchy of life.
Yeah.
And things that are closest to us, we feel more connected to. We don't feel connected at all to bugs. Nobody gives a fuck about bugs.
Right.
Vegans slap mosquitoes all day long. Nobody gives a shit about that life.
Yeah.
But there is a life that you care about when things get warm and brown
cute
fuzzy.
things. Yeah.
They get like too close to us.
Yeah.
Right? When they get too close to mammal-like, people freak out.
Yeah, I went on a South African safari last year, and it was like I couldn't fathom someone going and hunting a leopard or something like that.
That's a weird thing. That's
The
a
big
very,
game shit?
That's a very weird thing. It's a very different thing. It's almost like what that is, and I'm not saying
Is
it
it like
shouldn't
a
be legal.
sadism?
Maybe a little, but what that is like it's an aberration off the original idea. And this is the only way to look at it. And people will get mad at me that are hunters because I'm a hunter. And like, what are you saying? Look, it's not the thing to do. Unless you're doing it just to control population, there's no reason to do it. But what happened was, in the past, the only reason people hunted was for meat.
Right.
You barely could stay alive anyway. And when you went on a hunting party, you didn't go for sport. You went to kill things. When you have so much food that you don't need to worry about food, and you've already been shooting all these animals, then they start doing these things called slams. They call doing super slams or the grand slam. There's a doll sheep slam. There's a sheep slam, like a bighorn sheep slam. There's a whitetail.
Is this like a jamboree?
No. You try to kill one representative of each of the subspecies.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. It's a big thing. It's a big thing with these guys.
Like a poker run?
They call them like the big six or the big eight in Africa.
In Africa, it's the big five.
Is that what it is?
The big five. Yeah, the
Thank
five
you.
most dangerous animals to hunt
Yeah.
on foot. It's like cheetah, lion, hippo, rhino, and
Leopard?
whatever the fuck. Leopard. Yeah.
There's a bunch of these kind of slams. They have them for turkeys. They have
Yeah.
a wild turkey slam. You get the Gould's turkey, you get the Osceola turkey. There's a bunch of different turkeys all over the country. One in Florida. There's one in Mexico. It's a different turkey. Point being, people start collecting animals.
Yeah.
It gets weird.
Well, that's the trophy, right?
Yeah,
That's
it gets weird. It's like it gets to this weird place. Like you don't think they shouldn't do it. Like, okay, are you eating the turkey? You are. Okay, that's cool. Are you eating the deer? Yep. Okay, well then I have no quarrel. But when you start going like leopard, lion.
Oh, I said cheetah. It was elephant was the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, the only reason why you shoot an elephant is if the elephant's going on a rampage through a village and killing people, and you want to protect people's lives. And I'm on team people. Other than that, why the fuck else would you shoot an elephant?
I have no idea.
Like
I saw an elephant, the biggest elephant I've ever seen, as far away from me as you were sitting right now.
Oh my God!
And I almost had a heart
in
attack.
real life?
Yeah, in Africa on the safari. It was fucking scary.
See, but I think those things are amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But like you just know, because what you're doing, the reason I was so close is because we were watching them push trees down with their trunks, like 4 or 5 inch trees, just thunk, thunk.
Oh my God.
Thunk, thunk, like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like you'd crash a car if you hit one of those. It would crash the car. And like they're just thunk, 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 and they're right next to you. And if they go thunk on your Jeep, that's the end of that.
You know what's complicated? Someone was trying to explain this to me, and I should really be honest about this. A guy was trying to explain to me that when we think of Africa, we think of a country. It's not a country. It's a continent, and it's a way bigger continent than North America. We've seen pictures of United States stuck in the middle of Africa. Africa's fucking huge. And he's like, unfortunately, there's places in Africa where they have overpopulations of elephants, and they encroach on human civilization, and they do have to hire hunters to come in and do it and kill them. Well, they don't hire them. The hunters pay. And the money goes straight to the village. The meat goes to the village, and people get very excited about people hunting these elephants.
Yeah.
And when I hear that
probably
shit,
seems
I'm
like a
so
sort of
conflicted.
short-term solution to the village, right? The village doesn't give a shit about the elephants. They want to eat, probably, right? Do they care their conservationists?
The elephants eat their crops.
Oh,
becomes a big issue.
Yeah.
And they eat the fuck out of their crops.
Yeah.
You know, like good luck
They
putting
only
up a fence to keep a goddamn elephant out. You have no chance. So when someone was explaining this to me, I remember, you know, we were saying this. I was like, why the fuck would you ever want to kill an elephant? We know there's not that many of them. And he's like, yeah, this is why it's complicated. There's not that many of them in some places. It's like in L.A., there's no grizzly bears. right?
Yeah.
But if you go to Montana, the people that live in Montana are going,
Get
hey,
these grizzly
when are
bears
you
outta
going to start
here."
hunting these fucking things? They just declared them open for in Wyoming. They're not. They don't. They think they just started a hunting season, and it's very controversial. And they
Are
just
they endangered
not
or anything?
anymore. No, not anymore at all. No, they have a lot of them. And the people that live up there, especially people that have been mauled or know people that have been mauled, they're like, hey, fucking enough. I get it. They made a great comeback.
Yeah.
But, if you're in Chicago, there's 0 bears.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is a tiny place in comparison to Africa. So when I was saying that, like, I thought that elephants were endangered, he's like, yes and no.
Yeah.
They're endangered in some areas. And
good point.
the fucked up point, and the most dark point about all of it is that trophy hunting is the only thing that keeps those animals healthy. This is what's fucked up. I was talking to my friend Cam Haynes about this weekend. When I say trophy hunting, I'm even talking about normal hunting for meat, like impalas or, elands,
Yeah.
these big game animals that people hunt for because they're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Even them. In Zimbabwe, there's a lot of areas in Zimbabwe that are not high fence. They're just open, enormous areas. All of the money that would come from people hunting there would sustain these local areas, sustain these lodges, so it would make it viable to keep these animals alive and stop poachers. A big thing
because it
was,
funds the anti-poaching, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that funds the anti-poaching. Yeah. So here's what happened. The Cecil the lion shit went down. Nobody wanted to go to Africa anymore to go hunting, and all of these businesses are going under. So there's nothing stopping the poachers. So the poachers move in and kill everything. Kill everything.
How about that? That's gone the other way.
This is how many elephants were killed last year by people. Something like 400, or Google this, legally killed elephants. The number of illegally killed elephants, 30,000.
Come on.
30,000. Wow. Most of them are killed illegally. Most of them are poached. They have this one elephant, that last elephant that was dying? The male, rhino that was dying?
White rhino or black rhino? Which rhino was it?
A black rhino, I think. They had that poor bastard with armed guards around it 24/7.
Yeah.
Because they were worried someone's going to kill it and shoot it and chop the fucking horn off.
Yeah.
Like, the poaching is way scarier than the hunting. And the only thing that protects the animals from poaching is hunting. It sounds so counterintuitive and but you have to look at it honestly.
Yeah, they said something similar to us in South Africa about that. That they need the funds because the anti-poachers, they're all over the place. They're all over the place.
And then here's the other problem. When you say poachers, these poachers, you know what you're really saying? Poor people. That's what you're really saying. They're poor, desperate people. They don't know what the fuck to do. And if they could chop off a rhino's horn and make some money, they're going to do it. If they can shoot that animal that's not theirs and use it for meat, they're going to do it. Yeah. They're starving to death. I mean, they have no options. There's people in parts of Africa that are living in grass huts. My buddy Justin Wren, he goes and makes wells for these people in the Congo, and the stories he tells you would just make your eyes tear up. These are the human beings, and they're living like this 24 hours a day for their entire life. And this is the norm. So we're talking about poachers. We're talking about people that are fucking desperate, man. Yeah. You can call them poachers. You could dehumanize them with that term, but they're just poor people. And the only way...
Are none of them the movie stereotype poachers? There's got to be a couple of them.
But most of them aren't. Now, here's what's even crazier. Most of the anti-poaching agents used to be poachers. Because there's nothing else for them to do.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
And now they're poachers again.
But they're hunting people.
But they got out of this position. They can't be anti-poachers anymore.
They can't fund them. So now they just went back.
Now they become poachers again.
Oh, perfect.
This happens to a lot of them.
This has gone well.
So when Cam Haynes was explaining this to me, and when he's explained it to me, I'm like, well, of course. So they don't even know how many animals are left in these areas where people have abandoned them.
That's crazy.
These ranches that were once thriving ways. See, the thing is, most of these animals, a good percentage of them, were on the verge of extinction just 30 years ago because people were just overhunting them and poaching them and doing whatever they wanted to them. Then they started putting value on them. People would go over there to hunt them. So people would keep them in these huge areas, and that populations boomed because they were taking care of them because they were a resource. And this is conflicting to people.
It's wild.
It's very wild.